Paris, 2025. A young tourist steps away from the buzzing crowd near the Louvre, her phone in one hand and a map in the other. She turns down a quiet side street, expecting cafes, neon signs, and the sound of scooters zipping past. Instead, the world shifts. The air thickens. The pavement beneath her is no longer asphalt, but uneven cobblestone. Street lamps flicker with the faint orange glow of gaslight. Shadows stretch in ways they should not. A man in a suit from another era tips his hat as he passes, his shoes clattering against the stones. A horse-drawn carriage rumbles down the street. For a heartbeat, she swears she hears jazz music echoing from an unseen gramophone. Her pulse races. She blinks, and in an instant, it is gone. The lights of 2025 return. Cars speed by. Neon signs glow. The tourist crowd reappears as though nothing happened at all. She insists she did not dream it. She insists she smelled coal smoke, the faint scent of worn leather, and the unmistakable feel of a world that no longer exists. And she is not alone. In 2025, reports of these so-called time slips have exploded across the globe. Teachers, cashiers, officers, truck drivers, ordinary people with no connection to each other are describing sudden, terrifying glimpses of the past or sometimes the future. What is happening? Is it a hallucination spreading like a virus? Or are we somehow colliding with different timelines? Tonight, we explore the evidence that could shatter our very understanding of reality. The Walmart incident. One of the most chilling reports surfaced from an ordinary Walmart in Arkansas. It was March 14th, 2025. A night shift worker was stocking shelves in the electronics section when the overhead lights flickered. At first, she thought nothing of it. Power surges were not uncommon in the area. But then she raised her head and froze. The aisle before her had changed. Flat-screen TVs were gone. Instead, bulky CRT televisions filled the shelves, their thick glass screens gleaming under fluorescent lights. Cassette tapes hung neatly beside radios with large silver tuning knobs. Movie posters advertised films that had been released before she was even born. Customers walked by dressed in neon windbreakers and acid-wash jeans. Their hairstyles screamed of another decade. Big curls, mullets, bright scrunchies. A kid passed her with a Walkman clipped to his belt, the headphones crackling with tinny sound. The music playing faintly from the ceiling was not the latest chart topper. It was a synth-pop hit from the early 1980s. The worker reported the slip lasted no more than 20 seconds. But when the world snapped back, she realized her hand was clenched around something cold and metallic. She opened her palm to find a quarter, the year stamped on it, 1983. Experts later confirmed it was a Denver mint quarter, a type that had been systematically removed from circulation decades ago. It should not have been there, and yet it was. Her testimony later sent chills through investigators. She explained, "The strangest part was not the visuals, it was the smell. It smelled exactly like the mall I went to as a kid. Popcorn, plastic, and dust. It felt too real." This case became a turning point. For decades, claims of time slips were dismissed as dreams, seizures, or tricks of the brain. But when witnesses begin bringing back physical objects, evidence that does not belong in the present, the questions multiply. Was this woman transported for just a few moments into the past? Or had the past leaked into her present? The pattern. As reports piled up, researchers began mapping out the events of 2025. And soon, terrifying patterns emerged. The first was location. Out of dozens of documented cases, nearly 80% occurred near water. Rivers, lakes, harbors, even something as ordinary as a bathroom sink. Water, it seemed, acted as a catalyst, or perhaps a doorway. The second pattern was time. More than half of the slips were recorded between 3:04 and 3:33 in the morning, a narrow half-hour window. Folklore across cultures calls this the witching hour, the time when the veil between worlds grows thin. Was it superstition, or was ancient wisdom pointing toward a truth science has yet to explain? And then there was the sound. Witnesses described hearing it moments before their slip began. A chime, 4 notes, discordant, hollow. Audio experts have tried to analyze it. It does not match the resonance of bells, clocks, alarms, or instruments. One scientist described it as a sound like metal scraping against time itself. Take the case of a Tokyo architect. He was standing on a modern train platform, waiting for the morning express. He heard the strange chime, and suddenly the station transformed. Gone were the glowing billboards and neon advertisements. Instead, banners with wartime slogans hung from the ceiling. Soldiers in old uniforms marched past him. Steam hissed from a train engine that no longer exists in Japan. When the slip ended, the architect sketched what he had seen. Historians later verified the details matched a 1942 station design. accurate down to signs, uniforms, and architectural flourishes the architect could not have possibly known. The patterns are too specific to dismiss. Water, the narrow time window, the chime that no human instrument can produce. Dozens of people across the world, separated by thousands of miles, reporting the same triggers. Coincidence or the discovery of a hidden law of reality? Government secrets. When these stories began circulating, government agencies moved quickly to discredit them. NASA released a statement calling them neurological glitches, sleep disorders, stress, hallucinations amplified by social media. But deeper digging reveals a far more disturbing truth. Declassified CIA files expose the existence of Project Pegasus, a covert program launched in the 1970s. The goal, to map temporal hotspots, areas where the barrier between times was unusually weak. One chilling phrase appears in multiple documents: veil thinnest at hydrological nodes, in plain language, near water. Project Pegasus was officially shut down, but leaked documents suggest research never really ended. In 2025, an email allegedly from a U.S. senator requested urgent data linking the time slips to an approaching cosmic mass predicted to pass close to Earth in November. Why would a senator care about what NASA calls internet hysteria, unless the government knew something was real? Some theorists believe the spike in slips is no accident. Instead, they argue the phenomenon is linked to gravitational forces. Perhaps the cosmic mass is pulling at the very fabric of time, stretching it thin like glass before it cracks. If Project Pegasus was right, governments have known about this for decades. They have studied it, they have mapped it, and they may already know what is coming. So the question is no longer whether time slips are real. The question is, what are they hiding from us? The countdown among the flood of reports, a handful stand out as the most disturbing of all. They are not glimpses of the past. They are glimpses of the future. Several individuals across the world, unconnected to each other, describe nearly identical visions. Empty streets, cars abandoned mid-turn, doors left ajar, silent skies with no sound of birds, no voices, no wind. The world itself seemed frozen, paused as though a button had been pressed. And everywhere, clocks, digital displays, wristwatches, alarm clocks, all stopped at the same time, 3:33 a.m. 3 separate witnesses in 3 different countries described this, and the dates stamped in their memories? November 11th, 2025, the exact day the cosmic mass is predicted to pass by Earth. Is it coincidence, or is it a countdown? Skeptics argue people are feeding off each other's stories, repeating details they saw online. But investigators point out something chilling. These testimonies were collected before the date became public knowledge. These people could not have influenced one another. So what are we left with? An unnerving possibility that time slips are not random errors in reality. They may be glimpses of something approaching, something we cannot stop, something none of us are ready for. So what do we make of this epidemic of time slips? Are these incidents nothing more than mass hysteria? A wave of hallucinations brought on by stress, fatigue, or technology poisoning our minds? Or are they evidence that the walls of reality itself are bending, cracking, and allowing us brief, terrifying glimpses into other eras, past and future? The Walmart coin, the Paris tourist, the Tokyo architect, the chime reported across continents, the frozen clocks at 3:33. When added together, the pattern is too disturbing to dismiss. Maybe it is just a glitch. Maybe it is a warning. Or maybe, just maybe, we are finally seeing the truth, that time is not as stable as we believe. The choice is yours. What do you believe? Is the reality around us crumbling? Or is it simply our minds betraying us? Drop your theory below. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because when the next slip happens, you will want to be the first to know. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Mystery Central so you never miss a notification when we drop a new mystery. Stay curious, stay mysterious.